So as I was preparing for today, I decided that I really wanted to do a heart-centered practice. And sometimes just connecting to our heart is just a really good idea. And so that's going to be our practice today. But the other thing that popped up when I was preparing is to remember the law of quantum physics. And so I thought for a research university, every now and then pulling in something like physics would be kind of a fun option. So the law of quantum physics, and this is paraphrasing, obviously, for those of you that are more research based, but by simply putting your attention on something, it shifts. It doesn't remain the same, it transforms. I really was thinking about that this morning, and I was thinking actually about all the options that we have every day of where we put our attention, and how we put our attention, and how often I know I go through things like on autopilot. I don't actually remember like going from point A to point B. I know I've mentioned that before, but lately during spring, I'm very intentional and I really bring my attention to when I'm going from point A to point B. Specifically, if I'm walking, if I'm outside, or if I'm in when I'm driving. I live on the south side of Des Moines, and right now there are literally probably thousands of daffodils that are blooming along Fluor Drive and the Grays Lake area, just south of Ingersoll. And there's a lot of different directions I could go, a lot of different routes I could take to go from where I live on the south side to pretty much any place north of my home. But I choose right now to specifically drive over to Fluor Drive and go that way so that I can see the daffodils. And I think of campus right now, and I think of all the different places on campus where the flowers are really starting to bloom and trees are starting to bud out. And so when we think about where we put our attention, it's something as simple as which way you walk from building to building, which way you drive from point A to point B. So I would encourage you in the next few days to really think about how you use your attention and when you're driving or engaging from point A to point B, and how you might do it a little bit differently. So that's our physics session for today. So now we're going to move into our heart-centered practice. So as always, I invite you at this point to become comfortable in whatever position you're in. Noticing yourself, whatever you're seated on, if you have it back to your chair, placing your hands restfully in your lap or on the chair arms, whatever you're comfortable in. Now I invite you to close your eyes or gently gaze downward. Just coming into this right moment, this present moment. And I invite you to take 3 deep breaths in, noticing, observing as the breath enters your body all the way in, and then as the breath exits your body. And just take 2 more deep breaths, noticing it all the way in and all the way out. Coming into this present moment. Now I invite you to let your breath return to its normal rhythm for you. Don't try to control it. Don't try to manipulate it. Just let your breath do what your breath does. And as you're getting settled, just check in with your body. I encourage people to do a body scan several times a day if you can, just to check in, see what's going on. Starting at the top of your head, just gently Intentionally move down your body, checking in with your head, your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your torso, and then moving on down each leg, moving all the way down to your toes. And just check again. Doing a heart-centered practice is a practice that I really enjoy, knowing all that the heart does for us. The heart actually sends signals to the brain that can change our entire nervous system. So just focusing on our heart can help things like reducing stress, increasing our immune system. The brain and the heart talk all the time. So by focusing time on your heart, it's a way to reduce stress and help your whole being come into a more relaxed state. So now I invite you to bring your attention to the rise and fall of your chest. Again, just letting your breath do what it normally does. And just imagine looking inwards towards your heart. Your heart is pretty much in the center of your chest, a little to your left. Just let your attention rest there for a moment or two. Just looking inward, imagining your heart beating, doing what your heart does. Now imagine your breath moving in and out of that heart center as if it was a doorway to your breath. If you're comfortable and you feel it would help your breath, go ahead and put one hand on the center of your chest to bring that focus right there, or both hands if you'd like. And as you put your hand there, you might notice a warmth of your hand with your heart. It's a natural thing that your heart knows when it's getting attention. So just keep noticing your breath. Kind of as it's going towards that center, going to your chest. And just continue to follow your breath in and out. Perhaps noticing the length of your breath in, and the length of your breath out. Perhaps notice that there's a moment, there's a pause between when you inhale and when you exhale. Just notice and observe, how does your breath work? Knowing that you can slow it down if you're anxious or excited, you can notice it speeding up. And then you can intentionally, with attention, slow your breath down by just being mindful of it and giving it your full attention. So just continue to watch your breath pattern without controlling it. And just continue to observe and notice as your breath comes into your body and leaves your body, especially right around your heart center. And you will have, not if you will have, but you will have thoughts, or you'll hear sounds, or maybe you'll want to move your foot because there's a sensation and you want to do that during this practice. All of those things are natural and normal. But whenever you notice those things, just gently come back to your breath. So if you hear something, gently come back to your breath. If you feel you need to move your foot, and then gently come back to your breath. I'll watch the time and just continue to observe and be with your breath during this practice. Now, as we're ending our practice, I invite you to remain still with your eyes closed. You can relax your hands back to your lap if you still have them on your chest. And just notice your breath again. Notice how you feel at this point. Just check in again with your body. How do you feel now? Now I invite you to take again 3 deep breaths in. Noticing and observing your breath as it enters your body, all the way in your body, and as it exits your body. And then 2 more breaths. And when you're ready, you can let your breath come back to its normal rhythm. Stretch your arms, move your body, and when you're ready, gently open your eyes. I just want to leave you with this quote today. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for always being here. If you have any questions or comments, would love to know how the session was for you today.